Canto 9. The Knowledge Supreme, the Secret of Secrets. Lord Krishna spoke. Now to you that knowledge will be revealed, the secret of secrets, that was before always concealed. That science, knowing which, you shall released be, and from this world of sorrow you shall be set free. This is the King knowledge, the secret highest, that which is resplendent, purest and best, the right and just knowledge that is verifiable, of the laws of living that are spiritual and imperishable. But those faithless souls who for me have no belief, they sink and return to the mortal realm of grief. O Arjuna, on my path of truth, they cannot tread or ascend. Dwelling on the mundane path, they only descend. From I, the formless one, came into existence the universe complete. The universe is my effable mystery replete. Within my consciousness dwell all living beings, but my consciousness surfaces not in all things. But all the living creatures exist not in me. This surrealness of my creation, don't you see? It is I who support every mortal existence, for I am the constitution of every being's essence. Just as the mighty winds that flow, pervading all of space, in all directions they blow, so too you can conceive of my existence as well. Wherever all living beings persist, there I dwell. All things belonging to this creation of mine ultimately return and merge into my nature divine. A cyclic relapse of end and beginning they undergo. From me they come, and I lose them when they go. Descending into my own created nature, I configure multitudes of existences of many a stature. But under nature's control is every living object, and governed by its law is every subject. I am the detached and indifferent overlord. Seated above all, I watch over my every ward. In nature's grip I am not found, for by nature's works I cannot be bound. I am the presiding control over nature's creations. From my creative spirit arise the abundant manifestations. O Arjuna, in nature's cycle everyone has to involve, for this is what causes the world to rotate and revolve. Caged within the human bodies are minds illuded. About my eternal truth they are deluded. My supreme nature they do not apprehend. Its existence ethereal they cannot comprehend. These ignorant forms are crude and profane, as their hopes, knowledge and actions are all vain. In banal and demonic natures they thrive and dwell, and their will and intellect is lost under their spell. But the high souls contemplate and meditate, for they are aware of my nature's eternal state. For with love they turn towards only me. As the imperishable creator of all, only me they see. Adoring me with the greatest love and spiritual fervor, consecrated efforts they put in their every endeavor. In my surrender and worship they kneel and bow, and a perfect union with me they seek to know. Through the sacrifice of knowledge, those who seek their knowledge as offerings in the Gnostic sacrifice they keep. They worship in all life forms my divine unity, and also in all they adore my masked multiplicity. I am the ritual action and the sacrifice that is performed. I am the food oblation, medicinal herb by which the sacrifice is formed. I am clarified butter and the incantation transcendental. For the sacrifice, I am the flame and also the offering central. For all, I am the true Father and the Mother. For the world, I am the Father Supreme and Perpetuator. I am Om, the first word and the purifying sound. I am the knowledge that in the 3 Vedas can be found. I am the Master, the journey, the goal and the shelter, the witness, the refuge, the residence and the well-wisher, the creation, the preservation and destruction of everything. I am the seed and the eternal destination of every living thing. I am heat's energy. It is I who withhold and send the waters from the heavens that descend. O Arjuna, I am both death and immortality, nascent and existent. I am the quintessential reality. Those to whom the knowledge of the triple Vedas is known, they consume Soma, the ambrosial nectar, for it's their own. Worshipping me with the sacrifices, for the heavens they aspire. By their righteousness, divine feasts in paradise they enjoy and acquire. Having enjoyed the rewards of the heavenly realm, with their good deeds exhausted, they return to the mortal realm. Seeking satisfaction to the prescribed Vedic virtues they resort. Ultimately, back to the cycle of birth and demise they retort. But those seekers by whom I am integrally sought focus only on me in their every thought. To those whose consciousness is one with mine, to them I bring the prosperity divine. Even those who offer to other godheads sacrifice to me, for by coming to me only their sacrifices can fulfilled be. As their devotion and faith is pure and without flaw, I receive them, though they offer not as per the true law. For every sacrifice performed, I am the enjoyer, the overlord of sacrifices. I am the true receiver. But they know not my truth fundamental, and in their growth, this is detrimental. To the abode of the deities go the God worshippers, worshippers of the divine ancestors, to the realm of the ancestors, performers of the sacrifice to the spirit, to the elements they enjoin. But my worshippers, to me they come and directly join. He who offers with devotion a leaf or a flower, or even a singular cup of water, when the offering is with love replete, it is to me acceptable and complete. Your sacrifice, your enjoyment, and your every action, all your austerities, offerings, and your every donation, channel your soul's effort and its inner will. Let all your offerings be as per my divine will. From good and evil you shall attain liberation, and from the bonds of karma you shall attain dissolution. With your soul engaged purely in my consecration, you shall be free and experience my realization. To all beings I am disposed with equanimity, for towards all I am impartial, bereft of acerbity. But those who seek with devotion and love a holy communion, I reside in them, and they dwell in my union. Even the most evil amongst men can transformed be, when with love and soul they turn towards me. For when his adverse nature and will he has conquered, that changed being, even as a saint, may be considered. His soul then gets purified with a divine haste, and in my ethereal peace he shall then awake. O Arjuna, this promise to all my lovers I make: your love for me shall not go waste. O Arjuna, all those who seek refuge in me, even if in a womb of sin born they may be, the wretchedly ostracized, downtrodden, or the women, they all attain to me. To their sincere calls I hearken. What then to speak of the Brahma's seeker and the most devoted sages, regal and fine? This transient and sorrowful world's every dweller can channel their love to seek the divine. Sacrifice unto me and unite with me through your mind. Myself supreme you shall know, experience and find. Bowing to me and with love, when me alone you adore, then for the divine union you shall open the door. Thus ended the 9th canto of the Bhagavad Gita, where Sri Krishna parted the knowledge of the Supreme's existence and called upon Arjuna to engage in complete devotion to live in communion with the divine.